Today's screencast is all about using the Triple E framework to vet your desired apps and web tools. Remember, this framework measures the degree to which the technology in a lesson is helping students meet the learning goals. So the app we're going to measure is Poplet. I've selected this app because many of us have used it, know its capabilities, and can practice using the Triple E measurement tool with a common understanding. To get started, we need to venture over to the www.tripleframework.com website. Notice how detailed this website is. The home page is filled with a variety of framework information. The tabs across the top are deep dives into framework components. There is an engagement tab, an enhancement tab, an extension tab. There is also a Triple E rubrics and tools tab, and even a case study tab. This website has really grown into something quite valuable. Today, though, we're going to focus our energies on completing the online rubric, the Triple E Measurement Framework tool, which can be found in the Triple E Evaluation Rubric for Lesson Plans located on the home screen. To begin, you'll notice a brief description of the tool and then how to read the results of the tool upon completing the survey rubric as shown below. Before we get started, also notice that U of M collects just a little demographic data of individuals using their online rating tool. State and country are needed, so I'll enter that now. Questions 1 through 3 on the rubric deal with engagement. So let's do question 1 together. Thinking about the Poplet app and your usage as a teacher and for your students, does this technology tool help students focus on the learning goals, content, with less distraction? At this point, you would select the appropriate answer. Given my experience with Poplet and how it helps students focus their knowledge efforts and captures their thinking, I would rate the app as absolutely for this question. So I click on the correct answer and move on to question 2. Go ahead and pause the video now and see if you can figure out what question 2 and question 3 should be on the rubric rating scale. When you're done, click play to continue. So, what did you come up with? I feel that the Poplet app definitely motivates students to begin the learning process. It serves as more than a fancy digital note taking. It requires students to think, categorize, and analyze more closely what they are learning so they can start constructing their brainstorming map. So I would rate question 2 as absolutely. On to question 3. Now, if you're like me, you probably struggled just a little bit to decide if question 3 fell into the absolutely or somewhat category. The words shift and co-use are powerful words. Probably not after one Poplet have students completely shifted their behavior, but are beginning to understand the digital companion they have to capture their ideas. Likewise, this technology tool does support a move away from passive to a more active role for learners. The social or co-use part is really up to how you want to implement this in your classroom. Therefore, either absolutely or somewhat would be an appropriate answer for this question. We've survived answering the engagement questions. Let's move on to the enhancement questions. To me, enhancement is the game changer of this framework. This is where the phrase learning first, technology second resounds most with. So the first enhancement question reads, does the technology tool aid students in developing or demonstrating a more sophisticated understanding of the content? The creator of this measurement tool was kind enough to provide a little further explanation in the parentheses, meaning does this tool create opportunities for creation/production over just consumption? Looking at the capabilities of the app and products that can be student created with it, I would say absolutely yes. The second enhancement question reads, does the technology create scaffolds to make it easier to understand concepts or ideas? Again, think about the resources available when creating a Poplet. Not only can you type in the Poplet boxes, you can add images, take a photo, write, type, and draw. Teachers can also start a Poplet and share as a PDF or a JPEG to help scaffold for different learner needs. I personally would rate Poplet as an absolutely on this question. Again, take a minute to pause the screencast and rate the last enhancement question. Well, what did you come up with for question three? I felt that Poplet app somewhat addressed this question. Students could mind map with paper and pencil. I feel that Poplet enhances the opportunity to demonstrate understanding and quickly can digitally capture student thought and then place those creations into other apps, videos, or written work. Okay, moving on with the measurement tool. There are three questions for extension to answer. So why don't you go ahead and evaluate all three questions on your own? Take a minute to pause the screencast and see what you can come up with. Play the video when you want to compare answers. Well, what did you come up with? What if I told you I had scored two of the items as absolutely and one as somewhat? Would you agree? To me, the first question is a no brainer, but you're going to have to perform an app or web tool smash to make this happen. Selecting appropriate tech includes having 24/7, 365 access to the tool or the product that is created. To meet that criteria, the technology must be somewhat agnostic or have a way to become agnostic, meaning it's available on most devices or the web. Poplet really works best on an iOS device. So, to get extension outside of the school walls, you can take a screenshot of the created Poplet and put it into a Google Docs, for example, or make a PDF and email it onto its next destination. Not all great tools have the singular capabilities, so you have to smash two products together to get the desired result. Therefore, I would still rate this app as absolutely for this question. I would just have to work a little harder, but think it's worth it. Regarding the other two questions, sometimes people have a hard time with the second extension question. Does the technology create a bridge between school learning and their everyday life experiences? It's okay if you only feel this is somewhat. You can't be perfect all of the time, and I'm not so sure that products like this really exist in reality. Question three should have been easy for you to fill out. I selected absolutely. Creating mind maps or graphic organizers is a great life skill to have. With all nine questions answered at this point, we just need to click the blue button in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. Doing so, up will pop a results page. A results key is located on the upper half of the screen. This is a reminder of the green light, yellow light, or red light ratings. Below that key is how you actually scored the app. I scored the Poplet app a 15 out of 18, which yielded an 83%. Comparing the app score to the above reading results shows that we have selected a technology support that should be strongly connected with instructional moves and learning goals. If you continue to scroll down the screen, you can see all of your answers. So that's the process I usually perform when investigating a technology tool to utilize in a classroom setting. Feel free to try that online rubric over any new tools you're considering adding this spring. Put your students in charge too to perform the same rubric on the technology tools they may use for an upcoming student choice project. Lastly, don't forget that the www.eeframework.com website has a wealth of detailed information on each of the framework components, case studies, and much more. It's great to leverage technology and align it as close as possible to the actual learning. That's it for now. Have a great spring.